John Edwards for Griffins TV alongside head football coach Chad Masters. And coach, it's been a few weeks since we've had a chance to chat. Let's talk about the progress of the season. It seems like every week, despite what the win and loss column might say, the team is improving in certain areas every week.
We are, and I think, like we talked about earlier, I think it's only been like a week since we talked anyway, a couple weeks maybe, so it hasn't been that long, but, we've been improving. We have a young team. I mean, we've talked about that before, starting a lot of sophomores, even some freshmen too, with a small upper class, it's just what you find yourself into right now. But we've gotten better. Like just this last week against the Smet, I felt that the effort for 4 entire quarters was one of the better parts of the year. They really, really worked hard. They really, really tried to execute. They really tried to do those things. We got outmatched in some areas, and that's to be understandable. I think, though, the effort and the competition is what we're really wanting to see right now, and getting incrementally better each week. There's a lot of things we still got to get better at. I think consistency is the biggest point of that. Again, with a younger team, you're up and down a lot, trying to find the consistency in there. Of not as much effort as last week, but of execution, especially when they're going against some tougher opponents. So I think that's really what we're looking for right now.
Over the past couple of weeks, I've noticed that you've taken an opportunity to have speakers come talk to your team.
Yeah.
Because in a season like this, where you're dealing with as many young kids as you are, keeping them positive all the time isn't easy. And talk about how the speakers have come in and maybe help some of the kids along the way.
I think it's always good to help them hear from another voice besides their coaches. Not that they don't want to listen to us, but, you hear the same voice a lot, same message. It's kind of nice to hear a similar message from somebody else. And I think that's a big thing. And one of the biggest goals we had of it, too, is doing this, is especially tying it into some of our Vianney alumni, like Coach Walsh last week. Guys that have played football or maybe are just Vianney alums and haven't played. And we have some guys that aren't Vianney alums but are tied to Vianney coming down the road a little bit. So I think what we want to do is let them know they're part of a bigger thing than just Vianney football. They're part of a bigger Vianney community, both past, present, and future. And we want them to kind of be able to learn from that and hear from people about the experiences they had, particularly to Vianney itself, and how they feel that made him a better person, and to really kind of plug into that shared Vianney experience. So I think it's been great. I think the kids have enjoyed it. Coach Walsh did an awesome job last week of pouring some positivity into them. And just to kind of address the question you brought up is the fact that they have stayed positive. There's been moments, I'm sure, there's been some doubt here, there, and them in the middle of a game or a drive that, that we got to work through. Again, as kind of part of maturing as you get older. But they have come back. We have had amazing practices this year. Just yesterday was a great practice. Every week we're putting together great practices. And I know that's tough for people whenever you think, okay, you see an end result on a Friday, but nonetheless, they keep coming back and they keep working better. They keep getting better. And I think that's going to click for them sooner than later. I told them I wish I had a crystal ball and tell them when it's going to happen. I can't right now. All we can do is keep the process and keep the working. And they've answered that right now.
This isn't kind of a normal maturation for this group because they are so young, and most of them are getting significant minutes, significant snaps. Moving forward past this year, how much of that maturation process for these kids gets amplified moving into their next year because they've done so much in 1 year the year before?
Right. I think it's going to pay dividends for us as a program. We're going to be older. We're going to be deeper. We're going to be stronger. Part of this is going to come with age and more time in the weight room. The experience they're learning now is something they couldn't have gotten in any other way. You throw together last year with a COVID shortened year. I was just doing that calculation. We had 5 varsity games last year is all we played. So we're already played as much as we did last year already, and we still have half a season to go. Not to mention those kids, the guys we're leaning on heavily right now, only played 3 JV games last year. So it's almost as if they are 1 year, like they may be a sophomore, but they're really a freshman in some type of experience level. So the amount of experience we're gaining as a team and as a program right now with these younger players is only going to catapult this thing moving forward. And next year, I think it'll be significantly different just because they're a year older. They have a year of experience at the varsity level, at the highest level in the state of Missouri with our conference. I think it's only going to pay dividends for their maturation and their development, and also just the advancement of the program successes.
How much emphasis? I know we're still in the middle part of the season, but I know you're a planner, and I know that you've already probably started to script your postseason weight sessions and what you might start to do for the winter.
Right.
What is it that you tell guys now in the middle of a season, because maybe they're not in the weight room as much as they normally would be.
Right.
I know they do some, but
Yeah, we were
they're not in there like a normal session. What is
Right.
it that you tell these guys now as they get ready to move on into that other part of the season?
Our message has been consistent all year. I always tell them, obviously, every week we're trying to go 1-0. We haven't done that yet. That's our goal. But we're, as a program, playing both the short game and the long game. We're playing the short game for this week, trying to get as good as we can in this week to try to win against our opponent, whoever that may be, and we're going to strive for that. We don't go into a game thinking that we can't win that game. We know there's challenges, but we're always going that way. But we're also playing the long game in the fact that we know that we have to approach it that way for the long-term development and success of our program, that we have to get to a point where our mentality matches our ability and our physical abilities, and that's what we're working towards. So yeah, you're right. I plan a lot. I do have the offseason completely planned already. Everything's ready to go. I do that kind of concurrently with everything that we do. So I don't like to leave things any stone unturned. I don't want to take chance like things will just get better by accident. We don't do that here. And I'm never going to do that, so we're always concurrently planning for now and also for the future. And in some ways, I mean, I told them the other day, like, look, I get that there's a future for some of you all, but we still have 8 seniors on this team, but this is their last go around, and we have to approach everything the same now and also for the future. And I think they're grasping that, and we obviously, I have my assistants focus on the now, especially, for me, I can be a little bit bigger picture in some regards, but, we know what we got right now and we're trying to develop what we have in the future too. So I know that's kind of a weird answer, but nonetheless, we are doing both. And I think we're doing a pretty good job right now too, because we are getting better every single week. And I do believe we're close as a program and as a team this year, but program as a whole.
Are you satisfied as a coach with the how the team has gradually gotten better week after week in game situations? Practices are one thing, but when you come into a game time situation, have you seen like gradual movement in the positive direction for that you're comfortable with at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always going to want more. I think that's the other part of me that people maybe not understand, that I'm always I'm a very competitive person. The fact that I'm always thinking that we can do something more and more better. I think I was bad English right there. I think my educators would be upset with me, but for me, I'm not easily satisfied, but I have been, appreciative and noticed that we are maturing at a pace. I would like that pace to be a little faster. I think resiliency is a big thing that they're learning, that, that you can't let one bad moment turn into, cascade of problems. We talked a lot about belief versus hope. And they both are very powerful words, but belief itself is more active if you think about it. Like hope, you're just hoping something happens. Belief is you believe in yourself and you believe you can make it happen. I think a lot of times we start with belief, and then something negative happens, and sometimes we hope something positive happens after that, where we got to stay on the belief a lot more. Belief in ourselves, individually, belief in each other as a team, and belief in the program as a whole. And I think, we're just we're making strides in that area, but it's not like everybody at the same level right now. It's just people are going through that on their own a little bit. But I really do think that they're developing that, and each time. And I've noticed even this last week, there wasn't as much of a big drop off. It was, the week previous with CBC, we had might have been one of the worst 4 or 5 minutes of football I think I can imagine, going through the amount of mistakes that just cascade upon themselves and put us behind the 8 ball really early. And we had a tough time recovering from that. Whereas this time last week against the Smet, it was pretty steady through the game. There wasn't any big drop off. We just got beat in some areas, beat by better team and better players. But I didn't see any drop off in effort or competitiveness at that point. So I think that was some progress I like to see within this last week in particular.
Defensively, on the defensive side of the football,
Mhm.
I noticed this past week against the Smet, it seemed like the guys were making better tackles
Mhm.
than they may have made in weeks prior. And
Mhm.
talk about maybe some of that stuff starting to click in for them.
I think it is. I mean, we work on those fundamentals all the time. I think we doubled down on those fundamentals even more the last few weeks as progressively gotten better. Again, I think a lot of that comes from confidence. I remember asking a coach a long time ago, how do you become a good defense? He said, get older and get bigger in the weight room. It's amazing what the confidence happens to a young man when he starts to, look stronger and feel stronger. I think they're getting more experience. I think they're getting a lot more just repetition and practice. And I would agree. I think we are tackling better now. And again, that's still against very talented athletes that Smith had and CPC had the week before. I mean, those guys can make you look like you don't practice ever at all sometimes. But I think from a staff standpoint, we put even greater emphasis on that because if we're in the right spot, we've got to make a tackle. Like we don't get a lot of second chances, against teams. So we got to make it count. And I think the kids embrace that. And they've just gotten better. It's been through hard work. And I think that's where we're at right now. We just work hard on those fundamentals. And I think they're starting to click a little bit now.
You this past season, it seems like the group is getting a ton of support from the family into school and everybody along those lines. It's nice to have football back
Yeah.
and have people back on the sidelines and in the stands.
Yeah.
There's one person who is at every football game, and I would love to see what their counter is on their Apple Watch or Fitbit on how much they pace the sideline, and that's your wife, Joan, who is one of the biggest supporters of the program, and she paces the sideline as much as you do.
Yeah, she I think feels better when she's busy doing things, and that's why she kind of likes trying to help out with the water and things like that. We used to joke a lot about there used to be an old story of Mark Rick, former Georgia coach and other places in Miami, and his wife was actually the water girl on his staff even in college. And she has literally she was the head coach's wife, and she's down there working on the sideline. I think it helps her feel like she's part of something. That started a long time ago in our marriage. I used to kind of try to put up a wall, like this is my work life and this is my family life. And I realized over time that was shortchanging my family a little bit. I let them kind of be more into it. And my kids are growing up around the program. I mean, my oldest son now, Jack, has started out as a ball boy for me like tons of years ago. My wife's been involved in the program, everything from helping with meals to just being a team mom and laundry and water on the sidelines. I think it just helps her realize that this is a vocation for both of us. It's not just a job. Like this is our calling, serve this community and this program, and in the best way that we can, and with the gifts that we're allowed. And I think that she really, I think she enjoys it. She does it all the time. Doesn't say a lot about it, but I think she just likes being around the young men and likes being around the program and seeing what we're trying to do to make them better. And just help this community be the best it can be too. And I think it's just where she feels most comfortable helping.
Do you guys sit and talk X's and O's?
A long time ago,
Does she have the play? Does she have the playbook?
She knows a lot more than you might think she does. It was funny. A long time ago, she told me one time she said, I don't know why you think this football thing is so hard. All you have to do is run away from the people. And of course, the coach in me was offended. Like, no, that's not, I'm trying to explain the X's and O's, this and that. And honestly, kept coming back down to it. She was right. Just run away from the people. You're going to be okay. We make it way too hard. So she might be the real football genius. I'm not sure. But, what we talk about more is just, again, kind of the culture of the program, and how are we getting young men to be better men for having gone through this. Obviously we'd like to win every single game, and that's what we're striving for. But are our young men leaving this program better than when they came in? And I think if they're doing that, then we're doing some things pretty good. And that's been a lot. And she's a great sounding board, just as a kind of I won't say non-objective, but a person kind of not in the mix of it. to say, are we doing those things culturally right with our kids? Are we building them up? Are we making them men of character and accomplishment? And really helping me with that part of it. And I think that's been awesome. She's got a counseling and psychology background, so she definitely understands a lot of that aspect of child development and human development. I think it's been a great resource for me as a coach, but also just as a human being, as a husband, as a father, to be better in the program than I am.
Have you ever felt during a game like you needed to sit down on the couch and have a counseling session with her?
She won't do it. I think she thinks I'm too much of a mess. I don't know. No, I would hope I wouldn't be in the middle of the game now, so I think it'd be really going tough. No, we don't blur those lines very much, I'll tell you that. So, but as every married couple, there's all kinds of psychological analysis going on at a given time. So.
Well, I always appreciate
it. Thinking before I even say it,
I always appreciate the opportunity to talk to you.
Thank you.
The wins or losses or whatever it is, you're always gracious enough to sit down and talk about the program and how important things are beyond football for what you do and what you're teaching, and I don't think the community can understand the amount that goes into it, and I'm sure that they all appreciate it. And tell your wife I kind of put her on blast this week, so
it's okay.
Forewarning.
Salty, be careful now.
Coach, we appreciate a few minutes. Good luck this Friday night against Chaminade.
Thank you. Thanks for all you do for Griffin TV. You're doing an awesome job yourself.
All right. Thanks, Coach.